Okay, the pull-up. Is the pull-up considered to be the pinnacle of strength and conditioning? And depending on your weight and strength, what would be a beginner, intermediate and advanced range of pull-ups that you should be able to complete based on your fitness levels? But don't worry, because we're going to take a look at that today. If you want to see how many pull-ups I can do from fresh, stick around to the end of the video. So the issue with the pull-up is that there are many different ways that you can do them. And there are a number of factors that we need to take into account when considering whether we are intermediate, advanced or beginner. Now don't get me wrong, I'm sure we would all love to be as advanced as David Goggins, repping out thousands of pull-ups in 24 hours. But realistically, for most of us, that's not going to happen. However, you can get some massive improvements in your strength and overall physique, even with a reasonably high percentage of body fat, if you focus on pull-ups. So let's jump into the whiteboard and see what that looks like. So here we are, we've got 3 factors to consider when we're talking about pull-ups. And I'll talk to you about the ranges and where you should be based on your own individual circumstances shortly. First thing to consider is your weight. Now, all things are not equal in the pull-up. And the reason for this is because a 100 kilogram or 225 pound man is not going to have the same strength and conditioning if they're doing an equal amount of pull-ups than someone that is 20 kilograms lighter than them. And so weight plays a big factor. Not only the weight, but your body composition. So are you fat or are you muscly? Your weight plays a big role. If you're carrying a lot of fat, you're probably not going to be able to do as many pull-ups as you would be able to if you were carrying more muscle or higher muscle density. And that comes down to the second point, how strong are you? So we have muscles all over our body. The thing about the pull-up is it engages with a lot more muscles than you would imagine, but predominantly it engages with the muscles on your back, it engages with your biceps, and it engages with, when I say your back, you might engage some of your traps, your rhomboids, some of your lats, and certainly your biceps. So there are certain muscles that it doesn't engage with. So you could have a strong man that bench presses a lot, but actually is really poor at pull-ups, and therefore they may not have great core or abdominal strength, and this is a key part of pull-ups again. And the last thing on here is that we're going to talk about is technique. Now technique plays a massive part, not only in how you do the pull-ups. For example, are you trying to bend the bar in versus engaging with just little muscle groups? But secondly, if you look at CrossFitters that do a lot of kipping pull-ups, one of the things that you notice is they use a lot of technique and swinging to get up. And so when we're talking around pull-ups and how well we do them, we need to consider what's the weight of the individual, what's the strength across their overall body, and what technique are they doing. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're going to categorize as beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And we're going to talk about amount of pull-ups in one set and volume per set. So if you are a beginner at your pull-ups, you should expect to be able to do 4 pull-ups, okay? So if you're new to the gym, anywhere between 2 to 4 pull-ups is your range, and that goes for sets. So I would expect a beginner to be looking at doing something like 3 sets of 4, 2, 2. That's a beginner set, and you might be surprised, a lot of people cannot do 4 pull-ups, 2 pull-ups and 2 pull-ups. But certainly if you're starting in the gym, that's where you would build from. I'm not going to go into the muscle soreness and how to recover and build that. That's one for another video. But if you move on from that, to get to an intermediate stage, I would expect, it's quite a jump here, to be intermediate at pull-ups. You should be able to do 10 pull-ups in one go. Okay? So that's 10 pull-ups, repping it out, and you'll see what I did at the end. Now, in terms of 3 sets, I would expect that you should be able to do 10, 8, and we'll say 7. If you're doing 3 sets of 10, 8, and 7, I would say you're at the lower end of intermediate. Really, to be creeping up there, you want to be looking at 3 sets of 10. Now, you're going to be surprised at advanced. For advanced lifters, if you're advanced at pull-ups, you would be expected to be able to do 16 pull-ups, okay? And when we talk around techniques, remember that for some people, it'll be easier to do bicep pull-ups than it will be to do wide grip pull-ups, but we're assuming here that you can choose your grip. So 16. And if you're advanced and you're doing 3 sets, you're going to be 16, 15, and 14. If you can do 16, 15, and 14 pull-ups, you can consider yourself advanced. Now you may say, but Adam, what about 12 reps? Well, I'm sorry, if you're doing 12 reps, even 3 sets of 10, you're still sitting in between immediate and advanced. If you were doing 12 reps, I would put you more towards advanced, but you're certainly not quite there yet. So let's jump in, see how many pull-ups I did in my 1 set, and let me know in the comments below, as is always the case with these videos, what is your maximum pull-ups per 1 set, and what is your maximum pull-ups for 3, and do you consider yourself beginner, intermediate, or advanced? Right then, here we go. This is from fresh, just come off the bike, not even warmed up. We're going to go for wide grip pull-ups, and we're going to see how many we can do. No warm-up, no nothing, straight in. And let's see what we can get to, including relatively decent form. So here we go. There we go. So that was at 78 kilograms this morning. But you can see at the end, I was throwing a little bit. We talked around the difference between strict pull-ups and actual pull-ups where you're getting a little bit of momentum. But that's 10 for me, and I class myself to, in coming up to intermediate, between beginner and intermediate in terms of pull-ups, in my current level of conditioning. Although I have done 25 in one go at Body Power a few years ago. There we go, let me know what you can do.